Good afternoon, Monarch fans, and welcome to another edition of Sports Talk with Rags here in Season 3, Episode 93. Today, here we are honored here to have the head baseball coach for Monarch Baseball, Chris Finwood, and here when there's someone associated with Old Dominion, Sports Talk with Rags has created a Monarch Monday episode. So, Finny, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, Rags. Happy New Year, man.
Hey,
Glad to
same
be here.
same to you. It's crazy that it's 2024.
Yeah, it is here. Another year. The world keeps spinning, doesn't it?
It does, and it feels like that each year it gets faster and faster. And as soon as one spring season closes, and you go on the recruiting trail, you take a couple weeks off there in summer, then you're welcoming the players back for fall, take a break, and then now here after Christmas and New Year's, now it's time to focus in on the spring 24 season.
Yeah, the guys got back, and we got back to work this past weekend. And, first day of classes was today, and we just got off the field. So back at it, and, 6 weeks we'll be ready to roll.
Right, and with practicing on the field here, I mean, Monday, January the 8th, I mean, yes, it's, southeastern Virginia weather, but with no wind, it was probably a good day to be out there on the field.
Yeah, when the sun's out and not much wind, it's fine, man. We're used to being a little chilly this time of the year. You put an extra couple sweatshirts on and get your work done. So, guys, so far have done a nice job with it.
Yeah, and I see that here with there was a new addition there on staff here with Ryan
Fine.
Feynman coming on.
Yep. Yeah, Rhino joined us this summer. Is working with our catchers and our hitters, and came here from a couple years at University of Alabama. He was at New Orleans before that, and then Chipola Junior College down in Florida. Ryan played, was an all-conference catcher in the Big Ten at Indiana, and it's just been a really positive, good addition to the staff. We're very fortunate to have him.
Right. Yes, and before the first pitch there on President's Day weekend, we're just a little bit over a week and a half from the annual Monarch baseball banquet there on January 19th.
Yeah, not too far away, and that step up to the plate dinner has become a nice kind of new tradition for us. We have it over in the Priority Club at the football stadium. And, it's a nice cocktail, couple hours, heavy hors d'oeuvres. Everybody gets to meet and interact with our team. We introduce them. We, have some of our professional alums back usually if they can make it. And then also give out the Bud Matheny Award. And this year's Bud Matheny Award winner is Hank Morgan. And Hank's, for people that don't know him, is the, longtime manager of the Peninsula Pilots in the Coastal Plains League. Has done a great job there. His father, Henry, is the owner of the Pilots, or caretaker, as he likes to call it. And it'll be the very first father-son combination that have both won the award. So I've known the Morgan family since I was in high school, and fantastic family, big ODU supporters, and we're really excited that Hank's going to be getting the award this year.
Yes, and not only has him and his dad, ran a successful program there in the CPL and has turned War Memorial around, but definitely a long-standing relationship there with Monarch Baseball players able to stay in the area and play for them there in the summer.
Yeah, it's fantastic for us. Just only being 10, 12 miles away from the ballpark, our guys can stay here in their apartments here next to campus and work out, take a summer school class, and go over there and play. And we've had a number do that. Certainly during my time here, I've been sending players to play for the Pilots ever since I was an assistant coach at Auburn University when they started back up. Continued that through being a head coach at Western Kentucky and obviously here. So they're great to work with. The kids always have a really good experience in that organization, and we're very thankful for our friendship with them.
Yes, and let's take a couple seconds here with you being a VMI alum. I mean, Trey, Hank's son, there being part of Kedat baseball there in Lexington.
Yeah, and of course Trey's had a really good career there, and be a fifth-year guy there this year. He's got another year back because of the COVID situation, and he's been a dual, two-way player there. He's been one of their top of the order hitters, and then he's also been one of their top pitchers the last few years. So he's had a really good career at VMI. We're proud of him for that.
Right. Yes. And for the listeners out there, if you want to go to odusports.com or go to the ODU baseball Twitter page, and there's definitely a link there, as I know that Elizabeth and I, we've already got our tickets there for January 19th.
Oh, good. Yeah. Well, it's a fun night. It's very interactive, and we like that, the informality of it, which is much different than the old banquet. And it allows people to connect with our players a little bit, our coaches a little bit, and them with each other. So it's a nice evening to kick off the season, so to speak.
Yes, and with the basketball, with the men's program being in town, definitely stay consistent there with the MC being Ted Alexander, and Ted does a good job.
Ted does a great job, and got a meeting with Ted in the morning to talk about that stuff, actually. So yeah, it's always nice having him to be a part of it. And if we're fortunate enough that men's basketball is in town that weekend, then it makes it easy, and he's gracious enough to do it, which is very nice of him.
Right. Yeah, and so that's Friday night, January 19th, and then looking at the schedule, there's definitely plenty of opportunities here for Monarch baseball fans to go out to the Bud there in that first month, and definitely three game series here, one after another, where I see that you guys have quite a homestand. Might go up to Charlottesville for midweek, but definitely a lot of weekend home games to kick off the season there at the Bud.
Yeah, we've got our first actually 5 weekends at home.
Yes.
We open up conference play with Georgia Southern at home as well. So first 5 weekends, we've got George Washington opening weekend, then Rutgers, then Charlotte, our old Conference USA foes, and then Northeastern, and then Georgia Southern. So it's a very challenging schedule. We've got Virginia in there midweek. We've got East Carolina in there midweek. So we've got some, difficult games right out of the chute, and that'll get us ready for conference play. We feel like Rutgers has a fantastic team. So does Northeastern, and Charlotte's always very good. So we feel like that's going to get us, locked in and ready for Sun Belt play.
Yes, and Northeastern, ex Tide Mike Glavin there leading Northeastern's baseball program, and always compete for a CAA title.
Yeah, Mike does a great job. We played him I don't know, 21, I think was the last time we played them. And we're able to, all three games were one-run games, I think. And we were able to beat them 2 out of 3. I think we beat them in the bottom of the ninth on Friday. Then they beat us in the ninth Saturday. And then we beat them in extra innings on Sunday. And very competitive. So yeah, they'll be challenging games for sure.
Yeah, and then UVA, something that you you have done in recent years is play a midweek game at Charlottesville, and then I see that what's on the schedule there in April is the annual game at Harbor Park.
Yeah, and we're actually going up there twice this year. We had a hole in the schedule, and so did they. And
Yeah.
I said, you know what? Let's just go up there early and kind of see where we're at, and what we're made of. They'll be ranked in the top 10 probably preseason if they aren't already. And I don't ever really look at those things ever, but it's a good gauge to see where you're at. They're always very talented, always well coached, and our games are usually very competitive with them. And so we got them coming back late in the year to Harbor Park, and the last few times they've come, we've gotten weathered out. I think one year we got COVIDed out, but so they haven't been here in a little while to play, but we're always scheduling them, and they've agreed when we get the new ballpark to to come play us in our new ballpark, which is really nice of them.
Nice, yes, and and the thing is not only do you guys play midweek of UVA, but I see that midweek of William and Mary, midweek Richmond, and VCU here to do a home and home throughout the regular season. So definitely a good way where in state, in-state schools here, a little midweek rivalry.
Yeah, and we're fortunate. There's so many good baseball programs in the state of Virginia, and those ones we try to play aren't too far away, so it doesn't beat our guys up schedule wise, academically and things of that nature. And short trips and good programs, and we're happy to play those guys. Good coaching staffs, and we like playing those people.
Right, and then one school that we haven't talked about here in the state is still part of the Sun Belt, and with Ike leading the program, I see that when it's JMU, ODU, JMU comes down to the bud here this year, and definitely here with and Ike and the longtime friendship. That'd be a good weekend series.
Yeah. JMU will be here April 12th, 13th, and 14th, and should be good weather, and it's always a good series. We're excited about getting them back down here.
Right. Yes, and then it seems like it never fails here when you come to the end of the season. You start with a midweek road game, and then you close out the conference there. This year it's at Georgia State, and then the tournament there in Alabama. So definitely long road trip there to close out the season.
Well, we hope it's a long road trip. We hope we stay in the tournament,
Right.
for a long time. And yeah, we go to Richmond, then we go to Georgia State in Atlanta, and then straight down to Montgomery, which isn't too far from there. And I think we're going to be able to work it out to take the guys to a Braves game while we're in that window as well, because they're at home and an off day. So we're going to try to work that into our schedule. And we've got some connections with the Braves with having coached John Sherholtz when I was an assistant coach at Auburn, and I think we'll be able to get the guys tickets for that, and that'll be a nice travel day kind of break for us.
Right, and and then also here, not only here with the college baseball season, but here in the professional ranks. I mean, definitely quite a few Monarch alums there with on the field, and then like we've talked about before, their Q heading into his second season with leading the Royals, and Jeff Ware they're being an assistant coach. Their major league team, I think, with the Blue Jays. Is
Blue
that what
Jays, yeah,
that?
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
So definitely, Monarchs get started President's Day weekend, but definitely some Monarch representation there in the big leagues and the minor leagues when spring training comes around.
Yeah, we had a couple interesting trades with some of our guys that were in AAA. PJ Higgins last week got traded to the Reds.
Oh, okay.
And Jared Young got picked up in the Rule 5. Got picked up as a Rule 5 with the Cardinals.
Right. Okay.
So that's always interesting. And then I did hear that Bryce Wyndham, who was in AAA with the Cubs, got invited to big league spring training this year. So we're awful excited about that. Of course, Vinny was back to work out with us, Pasquantino, for a while in fall, and came to the golf tournament and hung out for about a week. And so it's good to catch up with him. And, he's rehabbing his shoulder. He's getting healthy, and hopefully he'll have a big year this year for the Royals. And you mentioned Matt Quatrero. Actually reading a book that Matt sent me.
Nice.
We trade book ideas. So this is a really neat book, Hidden Potential. If anybody wants to see it, by Adam Grant. It's called Hidden Potential. And it's a very good book. So Matt and I have had some neat conversations, and he's just a fantastic guy, and he keeps up with us. It's really cool to see how much he cares. Of course, you got Ryan Yarbrough in the big leagues with the Dodgers, and some guys really doing well. Obviously, Justin Verlander, everybody knows about his successes, having a Hall of Fame career back with Houston.
Yeah, and let's see, and if he listens, I mean, we definitely gotta give a shout out here to his younger brother, and his Flippin' Bats podcast is definitely been a success there on FS1 or Fox Sports.
Yeah, Ben's done a great job. He's got such a good personality, and Ben was a fantastic player here, and really valued his time here at ODU, and we're also excited for the successes he's had on the broadcasting side, entertainment side of the game.
Yeah, and for the listeners out there, for Jared Young, that was a second baseman in the Rule 5. I mean, that's a good opportunity that hopefully here he gets a shot there for the show there with the Cardinals organization there through the Rule 5 draft.
Yeah, so as I understand the Rule 5 draft, he's got to be on the big league roster. And if they take him off, then the Cubs can get him back. Right. So I think he'll get a good shot. Usually you don't take those guys unless you think they're going to have a chance to make the big league team. So hopefully he will. Actually another one of our alums, Jamie, now I can't think of his last name. He's a catcher here. Jamie Pogue is the bullpen coach for the Cardinals. And when they were getting ready to make that move, he called and asked about Jared, and I told him, man, take him. He's a top-notch kid and a good ball player, and you'll never have any issues with him. He's a fantastic human being. So I'm glad to see that worked out.
All right. Well, and with PJ Higgins and Jared Young and Bryce Wyndham there with the Cubs, and then now on the business side, Jared's gone to the Cardinals. PJ's been picked up with the Reds. Well, there's still plenty of Monarch representation there in the NL Central Division.
Yeah, that's true. They all stayed in that division. That's kind of interesting, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah. So, a couple of other young guys hopefully can make their way. You got Noah Dean with the Red Sox, and you got Hunter Gregory with the Blue Jays. So, I know Hunter just got married this past weekend, and so hopefully those two guys, as pitchers, can make their way through their organizations and work their way on up.
Yes. Yeah. And then there's at the end of the 24 season, then a possibility for the next phase there in the renovation for the Bud.
Yeah. So, the plan is to start construction this summer.
Yeah.
And, we don't know yet how long that's going to take, but it's going to get started, and so we're so excited about that. We'll have some growing pains along with that, but that's the way it goes.
Right. Yes, and then you know, possibility depending on the construction, then where you guys might have to play your home games there in the 25 season, right?
Yeah, yeah, we're still working through all those scenarios and trying to get the best plan together for our program and everybody associated with it.
Yes, yeah. Well, and hey, it is Monday night national national championship game.
Yeah.
So who do you like tonight?
Well, I think Michigan's going to win,
Yeah,
and I think it'll be a heck of a game.
right.
Yeah, I think if they can get the pressure on Washington, it'll be a lot harder. If they don't get pressure on them, man, that quarterback and those receivers are pretty good. So I expect it to be a good ball game. It's hard to pick against Michigan right now the way they're playing.
Right. Well, and then especially with the coaching generation, there with Jim Harbaugh and his dad, and then of course what Harbaugh's brother's doing there with his time with the Ravens.
Yeah, and there's a neat connection there.
Yeah.
When I got to Western Kentucky, Jack Harbaugh was just finishing up as the football coach there,
Okay.
Jim and John's dad.
Right.
And Jim Harbaugh actually was a volunteer assistant one year
Oh,
at
nice.
Western Kentucky, right when he got done playing. And
Right.
there's a great story. They won the national championship in like 2003, maybe 1AA.
Right.
And one year they didn't have enough money for new uniforms. And so Jim donated the money. He was still in the NFL at the time. He donated the money for the uniform. So that's
Nice.
a heck of a story. And, that saying they say all the time, who's got better than us? Nobody,
Right.
was actually on the weight room wall in the old weight room in the old football stadium when I got there. And I can remember people telling me that story. And so that was kind of a neat connection to think about.
Right. Yes, and I think their sister, I think her husband, Tom Crean with
The
Marquette
basketball
in
coach.
Indiana. So
Yep. Yep.
definitely coaches there in the family.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of connections in that family. And
Yeah.
it's neat to see them doing well for sure.
Right. Well, hey, Finney, appreciate your time for coming on and talking about the baseball program and what this next season is looking for Monarch baseball. And appreciate your time.
Well, it's my pleasure, Rags, always, and we'll look forward to seeing you in a couple weeks. And thanks for all you're doing for sports in the area, and it's nice to get on here with you, a few times a year.
Yeah.
And go Monarchs!
All right. Well, hey, today's guest here, Chris Finwood, here, the head baseball coach at Old Dominion, and appreciate his time for when he does come on. And go Monarchs! And if you haven't had a chance to come to one of those annual banquets, get your tickets there for January 19th. And that's a wrap here for today. Go Monarch baseball.
All right. Thanks, Rags.
All right. See you.